Hello, welcome to a new video. Today I am doing a tag video. If you can't tell, it's Star Wars. So this is the Star Wars book tag. Now this was originally created by Elizabeth Page and Joanna Sousa. However, I can't find any working links. I found a link for Elizabeth Page, but then it went to this video as private. So as far as I know, they are the original creators. But I saw this on a few different blog posts when I was looking. So we're just going to do the Star Wars book tag. So first up, we have R2-D2, a book that made you laugh out loud. So for this, I'm going with The Martian by Andy Weir. Now I could have chosen a few different options for this, but I feel like this book makes me laugh so much. It is so comical, even though that there's a pretty serious thing happening. You know, he could die, but just like his humor keeps it light. And I think that's especially the time I read this book, I needed the laughs. So this book will always be my answer to this question. Next is Padme Amidala, Kickbutt female character. There is a lot of books I could have chosen. I could have chosen a Sarah J Maas book. I could have chosen a Cassandra Clare book. But Something is Killing the Children by James Tierney IV, because Erica Slaughter is 100% a kick-butt female character. She is incredible. And actually, anyone from the House of Slaughter or any one of the masks would count for this, but Erica especially. Next is Leia Organa, best or worst love triangle. I really don't like this question for her. Like, I feel like there's so many different options Leia could have had other than just a best or worst love triangle, because that wasn't even much of a thing. Anyway, I'm going with best love triangle because it's actually the only love triangle I actually tolerate, and it is The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. Like, I don't know anyone that doesn't like this love triangle. It's the only one I will tolerate. I'm not really a huge fan of love triangles. They kind of put me off books, but this one was done perfectly. Next we have Luke Skywalker, a rising star author, a new author you've discovered and absolutely love. I've been discovering a lot of new authors lately, but I think the standout one is Rebecca Thorne, because the Can't Spoil Treason, like the Tomes and Tea series, I read this in, I think it was September last year. I read the second one in October, and then I've now finished the 4-book series, and book 4 isn't even out yet. This series is everything. It's like a absolute top new favorite series, and yeah. Also, I took my ring off to wash my hands earlier, and I've left it downstairs, and it feels weird not wearing it. I don't like this. Next is Anakin Skywalker, a book or series that started out well and then became bad. Now, I was racking my brains because I'm sure there was a book. I've remembered what it was. I was saying to Ash the other day, I'm sure there was a book I've read recently that I really liked the beginning and then the end just ruined it for me. And I couldn't remember what it was. It's actually Milo and Marco's At the End of the World. But that's not the option. That's not what I'm picking here, because I'm going to go for Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. Now, I love the Grishaverse, or loved, past tense. I adored the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I loved the Six of Crows duology, and then the Nikolai duology. I really enjoyed King of Scars, and then I hated Rule of Wolves so much that I have unhauled every Leigh Bardugo book I owned, and I refuse to read anything else by her ever again because it angered me so much. So I think that's a pretty fitting choice for this one. The next one is Qui-Gon Jinn, worst character death. Now, I'm not gonna say, I'm not saying a worst character death, because that is the biggest spoiler. Any book where an animal would die is gonna be a big one for me, because I don't like animal death in my books. So that's non-spoilery because I'm not given specific books. If I had to do a spoilery one, and I'm gonna hold my hand up now, when I put my hand down, I have finished talking about the spoiler. So if you're still here, spoilers for a Cassandra Clare Shadowhunters book. Livy at the end of Lord of Shadows breaks me. I was inconsolable when I read that, and then when I read Queen of Air and Darkness, I was inconsolable for the entirety of the book because it just kept coming back up. And even on rereads, I've been inconsolable. So I think that that would be a good one. Spoilers over. But yeah, there are a lot of character deaths, but that spoilery one is the worst. For me, anyway. Next is Han Solo, a book with a lot of sass. So this, I'm not actually picking a specific book. I am saying any Reylo fanfic that is made into a book. So obviously I've got the Hurricane Wars, Love Hypothesis, and My Roommate is a Vampire. I don't actually know if this was a fanfic or if it was just based off Reylo fanfics, but it has the vibes. I know these two were both fanfics. I have read the fanfiction for the Hurricane Wars series. Absolutely adore that fanfiction, and I'm really enjoying the fantasy series. Love Hypothesis, I have the fanfiction on my Kindle and I still have not read it, so I might have to read that soon. But yeah, any fanfiction with Rey and Kylo has a lot of sass. Like, she gives him so much sass and it's amazing. Next is Emperor Palpatine, best world building. For this, I'm going with Silvercloak by Laura Stephen. Obviously there is a lot of books that I have read over the many years that have had incredible world building, but I genuinely, the world building in this is so interesting, and I absolutely love how the world building's done, how the magic system's done, and just how everything is. It's so well done, and it just gives that sense of nostalgia without actually being nostalgic, and I'm just so good. Next is Obi-Wan Kenobi, a book you went in with low expectations and that blew you away. For this, I'm choosing Feed by Mira Grant. I went into this not really expecting to like it much, because whilst like the marketing is done terribly, it's marketed as a zombie book, and if you go into it, and I've said this many a times on my channel since reading it, if you go into it expecting a zombie book, you're gonna be disappointed. Yes, it has zombies, but the story is political. It's about the media and politics and dealing with the aftermath of the zombie apocalypse. Like, yes, there's zombies, there are still zombie attacks, but it is not a main focus. And going into it with that mindset, knowing that it's not a zombie book, was the best thing I could have done, because I ended up absolutely loving it, and I have since devoured the trilogy and absolutely loved it. So I think it's safe to say that that blew me away. And then the final prompt is Yoda, a book that taught you something or that made you grow. So I was like, what can I pick for this? I'm going with The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, because this taught me that, one, Reylo fanfic being made into actually traditionally published books is amazing, and two, that I like romance. This set me off on my romance spiral, where I now have 2 entire shelves and others dotted around, which is just romance. So I think that taught me something. It's not a bad thing. I absolutely love it. So yeah, should have known Love Hypothesis were going to be an answer to one of these questions, and technically it's an answer to 2. So that's the Star Wars book tag. I'm not going to tag anyone. Obviously you don't need to be a Star Wars fan to do this tag. It doesn't really matter. But if you would like to do this tag, please tag me, because I would like to be nosy. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.